We start with your top lineman in the 2022 draft, and that is Kentucky's Darian Kinnard. You talk about a big boy, 6'5", 345 up front. What did you see from what Kinnard brings to the table for whichever team is fortunate enough to draft him?
Straight up butt kicker. Old school with a new school feel to it. A Marquise Pouncey kind of guy, a guy who goes past the whistle. One of those guys, something you can't coach. So you really can't coach attitude when it comes to the offensive line. And Coach Tomlin used to always say, man, I'd rather say whoa than sick 'em. And this guy right here, you got to say whoa all the time because it's always a referee when you watch on tape who's trying to break him up with somebody. So he's married to a defensive line. He's married to a linebacker. He's married to anybody who doesn't have his jersey on, but he's married with a bad attitude and bad intentions. And I think a lot of these offensive linemen, they don't have this nasty attitude. This guy has a nasty attitude, smooth on his feet. You can put him at center. You can put him at guard. When it comes down to the offensive tackle position, I think that would be a stretch. But when you're looking for an attitude, when you're looking for a safe pick, you got to go with it.
And Ike, he is related to country music legend Dolly Parton. Kinnard's aunt is the first cousin to Dolly Parton and the Tennessee native. So some good bloodlines there in terms of, fame within that family.
Bloodline. That's all that means. If anybody know anything about Dolly Parton, they know she's very successful. Living legend. If anybody who's going to read up and watch our show and look at Darian Kinnard, they're going to know if y'all watch this tape, he will be very successful. He's the kind of attitude. He's the guy you want on the field. He's the guy you want to walk into in the bar. He's the guy who you wants to have as your security. So for a quarterback who gets Darian Kinnard, they're getting a real live security guard.
And Ike, do you see Kinnard more as a guard or a tackle at the next level at the NFL?
Guard.
Because I've seen him a little bit at both.
Guard. But the good thing about it is if you're missing a tackle, when you're a GM, if you're a coach, you got some kind of athleticism with Kinnard at the offensive lineman, like, hey, so-and-so is hurt, let me put him at tackle. Even though this might be a stretch for me putting him at tackle, at least he gives us some kind of versatility. But for me, he's a center if you really need him to be, but he's a guard by nature.